You have one unheard message. First unheard message sent yesterday at 7:15 p.m.
I remember being in the car and thinking that, like, that there's definitely not a God, and that we don't really have a purpose. Like, everyone's just here, and like we're all living. There's nothing after that, because I just couldn't comprehend the fact that there could be life after a death like that. I just couldn't understand how there could be anything better after that. So that realization has never left me. That's like, I like live my life by that. But I just remember having the thought. For me, grief can be loud. It can be really, really loud, and it can also be really quiet. I think everyone has a different type of grief. It can be important events, knowing that that person was supposed to be there. It creeps up when you're in the shop and you remember their favourite thing. You can feel it then. I don't really cry when I find out that someone has passed away, and I feel really guilty about it. Sometimes I feel like I don't grieve in the right way, and I don't know how to fix that.
I think people underestimate how grief affects every aspect of your life, even months or years later. You think like everything's fine, you think you're having a really good day and you're so proud of yourself, and then like it hits you like a ton of bricks. Like anything can remind you of who you've lost, like seeing a rainbow, seeing a sunset, seeing somebody who looks like them or wears clothes that they used to wear. You really like lose yourself. You go between like the old you before this thing happened and now, and you feel like you've lost the old you and you'll never see the old you again. And you also kind of romanticize that a little too much, that you think like life used to be perfect and I took it for granted, when in reality your life was never perfect. But losing this person really just puts things into perspective, where you think like problems or issues that you had before really weren't that deep. You can feel so sad for feeling okay again, and you know that grief will always be there.
When I think about it, to be honest, I don't know how much of like a common experience this is for people. For the majority of the time, I don't really think about it, or it's like my brain doesn't really believe it. It's like your brain can't comprehend that that's actually the case. Because you know he's alive in my memories, and when I sleep I dream about him. I find everything about it so conflicting. I feel guilty for enjoying things, but also I know I don't need to feel guilty, especially at the grave. I don't feel like he's in a static place, because he never was when he was here anyway. You just want to pick up the phone and call him. I really felt like he was one of the only people who really understood me. There's a lot of guilt I feel about that, about not having seen him. Even, you know, I was supposed to call him on the Sunday, and he died on the Monday, and I didn't call him. And I just think things like that, you know, I just feel a lot of guilt around things like that. I feel overwhelmingly grateful, mostly, to even have known him for any amount of time.
it's ever present, grief. Because it's an actual physical pain. It's an actual physical pain in your heart. You've a pressure there.
Sure comes to everybody at some point in their lives. It has to be, and eventually is coped with. I suppose when you live as long as I have, years of grief back along, but then we have to recognise that it's a natural response, I suppose, to mostly to personal loss of friends and family, but it has to be, and eventually is coped with. If I don't know how everyone that has a different approach to that, but that doesn't obliterate memory in any way. I mean, memory, so long as you have it, is there forever. I feel like it might be 60 or 70 or more years ago in my case, but it's there, and I remember it, and a lot of people that are long, long gone, and events that happen, but more it keeps occurring. Grief crops up from time to time in everybody's family. As I say, we have to learn to live with it, overcome it, not, if possible, lose the memory of people and events and whatever in life. But it's part of life.